thought I'd start off with a little bit of history kind of stuff in comparison. This is Thailand, you probably know. And I tried to compare Thailand to the United States in some of the superlatives, some of the different issues. And you can see the population is quite low, high percentage of Buddhists, and the dependency ratio, that's how many people of working age there are compared to children. The higher the number, the more dependents there are. The United States has 51%, and in Thailand it's 39. So we have a very active working population, lots of folks. Median age is 37, very close to the United States. Life expectancy 75, close, but not the same. Fertility rate's actually lower. This is a completed fertility rate in Thailand. They have less women have less children than do in the United States. And the death rate and birth rate, you can see, are actually lower birth rate and lower death rate than the United States. And a lot of that is because of socialized medicine and a little bit younger population. They don't have as much money, 16,000 on average compared to 56, but they have a little bit less education. These are population pyramids. Each one of these little lines is 5% of the population. And you can see this, there are sticks out here. I mean, there's a lot of people in the Middle Ages, not many children. Where in the United States, they're almost becoming straight up, and then as you get older, people not having. And that's why that's really, they are trying to improve in terms of economics. So having fewer children means you have more money, which is the way you think. Just a quick look at the timeline. Siam, as it was called up until the 30s, was the only South Asian country that wasn't occupied by the European force. We got the French, French China, French Indonesia, and then we got the British on the other side underneath, and they took over different parts of Siam as time went on. But they really started the hunter-gatherers, and it came through time back in 1947. The king, Bambi Ball, was actually declared king. He was the second oldest, but when they went to the palace one day, they found his older brother with a bullet hole in his forehead. And so he took over as king, and he's actually been a king. He just died last month. And he was considered the most revered person. Indeed, now that they called him, starting in the 1990s, King Bambi Ball the Great, because he's just an enormous public service. His son, underneath there, King Maha, Prince Maha, will assume office on December 1st. He is a real problem for the Thais because he's been married to Playboy. He's been married 3 times, has 5 kids, has appointed his pet dog as the chief commander of the Air Force. So it's a little bit creepy. General Changyal at the bottom is actually the political leader, where the king is the figurehead. The coup in 2014. There have been a number of coups that go on to actually get rid of the Democratic government. He's really the leader today. The king is really pretty much a figure. And then a little bit about customs. We were talking about how friendly the folks are. The why is the greeting, and you'll see folks doing this. Even in McDonald's, there's a lot of McDonald's greeting people. I mean, it's absolutely fascinating. They have different things you can't do if you're going by an older person like this guy is doing. If I walk in front of you, not older than me, I guess. Anyway, if you were, I'd actually have to bend down to walk in front of you because you don't have to. The younger person is never higher than an older person. So I'd be sitting places and people would actually walk the other side of the sidewalk and walk kind of right, just not to walk in front of me. Now, really quick back. The greeting, I put this up here. It's a link, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. The sound is not on, that probably helps.
สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีค่ะ
Kwani Ka is what you call man, Kwani Sa is what you say to a woman. It's a form of greeting. And I heard that probably 600, 700, 800 times a day. It was just, everybody was just happy to meet you, greeting. It's just amazing. You can do this while you're sitting down, or you're standing up, or you're walking. It just, everybody's very, very friendly. And when you get laundry, we gave laundry to a bunch of folks to clean it, and they came back in 2 separate satchels. One for stuff from the waist down, underwear, undershirts, and socks. The other for shirts and pants. Because you don't wash the things together because one part's unclean. Great stuff. First day, we went into Bangkok and we walked down the street and we ran into some various food markets. Pig things, which kind of neat. Durian fruit, which I was hoping to get some, I couldn't find any around locally. But it's an extraordinarily smelly fruit that people really love, quite considerably. This is a market you have to walk through. You can see different stalls floating about. We met a lollipop maker, and actually had a hot pot, a ton of sugar, and was making different figures out of the sugar to sell to the kids for the equivalent of 8 cents each. And this is a street vendor where my daughter typically got her dinner. She said, it's just really.
Did you see many Americans or Europeans there?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
tourists,
In Chinatown, where we went first, not so many. We went to various tourist attractions. There were many, but in most of the temples we stopped in, there were very few Europeans, mostly local folks.
Right.
We did see an enormous number of Chinese, because they actually opened up the highway directly from China into Thailand just a couple of years ago.
Okay.
At the time, the Chinese were coming in because the prices were so low for vacation. The Chinese temple and Buddha. So this is a Chinese Buddha. You're probably familiar with it. It's a common thing. But this is a Thai Buddha. It's a thinner because the Chinese image Buddha at the end of his life, when he is enlightened and is actually passing on knowledge. The Thais actually look at him when he received enlightenment. He first was enlightened as a young man and gave desire away. My wife and daughter. I was at the temple here, and they actually had big piles of incense. You could take a stick and light it, and it did not pay anything for it. It was a way of showing reverence to Buddha. There was a guard there keeping an eye on me, because I was a she. And this, you'll see a number of things like this. It's a spirit house. A spirit house is they basically set this up so the spirits of your ancestors and other spirits can come and visit you, and you take care of it. You keep it clean. You put special things out there. You put offerings of food, and it really does. There are thousands of these things all over the place. It's really quite remarkable how many of them are. But it's a way of showing your religious connection. Went to Wat Pho, extraordinary temple. They have the reclining Buddha. This is a Buddha that is about 30 feet long, completely covered in gold foil. Just enormous thing. This is, and some of the temples, you can see the intricacy of their design. And every time you had a central Buddha, always fresh flowers completely surrounding you, everywhere. Every day. I mean, it's never any of these things like, you've seen sanitary plastics. I mean, all really fresh, really quite remarkable how amazing that was. The next day, we took a little boat ride on the Chapua River, and it's an active river, goes right through the middle of the city, and we came up close to person with barges and things. The little crew thing is the boat. But we went through a saltwater canal, and it's all kinds of stuff. An Asian water monitor. It's about 8 feet long, I guess, that they dig around.
It's like an alligator.
Yeah, very much. And right above this is somebody's porch or deck, and they live right above. So it just hangs out underneath, and nobody bothers it. Buddhists like to help others, so they have a special spot. They call it the place of 100,000 fish. And you're supposed to throw bread and feed the fish, because when you feed the fish, you bring goodwill to yourself to the
Some bunch of fishing now.
Yeah, that's how you drop a line there. You pull them all out. Yeah, some of the buildings along the place, although they look kind of ramshackle, they're actually pretty good. This antenna at the top, the TV. Another spirit house. There are many different things. And this one actually has a light in it, so at night it actually shows up as well. Neat stuff. Then we went off to back to the main river and a couple other temples. Thailand is like other places that things wash into the river, but you'll notice all the trash and things amongst itself is greenery, and most of those are flower stems and plant stems that people actually use in the the temples, they dispose of them. This is the Temple of Dawn. This is a build up one of the stupas there. And this is the detail of that stupa. Little thing down there.
Oh my goodness.
How intricate that is. That's just absolutely astounding how, and just, it's all over. The entire thing has that much detail. Really absolutely fascinating. Many tourists, and one thing you find in Thailand, probably all of South Asia, is they all love umbrellas to keep the sun off you. It's really a very neat thing. My Prop Trail has three main stupas in it, one from the India, one from Cambodia, and one from Thailand. It's one of the most religious places in all of Bangkok.
So all of those are like churches?
They're sort of like churches, although the first one, the one from Cambodia, has no entrance. It's just a big tower.
Oh.
But the other two, you can actually go inside. There's a replicas of Buddhas. I'll show you one of those. A little bit further on, went to actually the palace of the King of Siam. And this is where the movie actually had a scene of what that was about.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it was fun. So, anyway, we left Bangkok and went to a
That
place
looks like you.
Chiang Mai, huh?
That looks like you.
I'll be darned. I'm not gold skinned, that's it. No, this is, went to Chiang Mai, which is up in the northern part of Thailand. And at the beginning of the day, we actually went to the back, and the hotel provides the little bowls full of food, water, flowers. And then monks came with their bathing bags, and we actually donate food for the monks for the day. They take it back and they eat it, and the other folks in the monastery actually get together their food as well. Really quite an amazing tradition. And monks themselves cannot buy food. They have to have it given to them. Matter of fact, they're not supposed to use money, although they've modified that a bit because of transportation costs, so people can have money for transportation. That's the only thing they have money for. They're given their robes, you're given their shoes, you're given their bags.
Can I become a monk? What do you say that is?
Monks.
I need to be one of them.
Huh? Well, I tell you what, to become a monk in Thailand, all you gotta do is show up in the monastery and say, I want to be a monk. And that's it. But then you have to follow this very rigid schedule.
Oh, I don't think I can do
3
that
hours
hard.
of meditation every day, certain other works you do. And indeed our guide had been a monk for 3 years, and he decided to become a monk to honor his parents.
Oh.
And then he came back out and he did some, he got involved in this tourist stuff. Anyway, this is me with the lotus blossom as an offering. And that one crochet. This is me, yeah, looks like me too. You're supposed to pour water over to wash a replica of the temple itself as a way of showing your devotion. And indeed, as we were there, this crew, volunteer crew, I have no idea where they came from, but they all of a sudden showed up and with brushes and cloths and they started cleaning the entire temple. And they spent approximately 50 of them all together. And they just cleaned everything. I mean, they even got down and were scrubbing the floor, scrubbing the ground where the stonework where it was. And everywhere you go, there are pictures of the king and the queen. Everywhere. Highly revered. As leaving the temple at Clark.
Colors are so beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. This is what they call a naga. A naga is a serpent that protects heaven. And every place you go where there's a temple, you'll find some of these things. This one is quite elaborate. It goes down a series of about 150 steps, and the snake's body just undulates down to the bottom to terminate in the heads themselves. You can see how it also protects Buddha, because these things around the head are actually naga. And naga supposedly can have any odd number of heads. This one has 4. I'm trying to figure out why that was. But you can 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, that kind of stuff. And those are religious significance of not but again, another spirit house. They're everywhere. It's really just fascinating. All these are representations of Buddha, and you'll see more as time goes on.
So Buddha is their God?
It's the center of their worship, basic philosophy that they're involved in. And when asked, why are there so many different ones, they said they didn't have photographs and there's no drawing, so you can imagine Buddha the way you wish to imagine. So it comes in many different ways. as driving around, we saw many odd things. At the airport, we saw an anti-fire device.
That's
It
fun.
was weird. This is actually the toilet. It's called squat toilet,
Oh.
where you put 1 foot here, 1 foot here,
Yeah.
squat down, and there's toilet. And they also have this, don't wash feet in the toilet.
That's not a flush toilet, Tom. It's not a flush toilet. You pour in water into the
Right,
toilet.
so this one actually
Pour
has
no
water
water.
continually flowing.
Oh,
It's
you
somewhat
did.
more
Oh,
flush.
continuous flowing, okay.
Yeah. This I found in a tuk-tuk, those little things. It's what Thailand is famous for, the cherry club. It has the sex industry big. And this shocked the hell out of me. This is a sign for men's room.
A sign?
Yeah, this was what you see this?
So
They
you know that
you
it's a
that's the
men's
men's room, yeah.
Okay.
Which, that kind of creeped me out this. I gotta say.
Especially that shoulder bag there.
Yeah, it's really quite fun. Okay. Yeah, later that evening, we went off to a traditional performance of costume and dress. The Lama culture was there prior to Siam, prior to Thailand. And many people doing this thing. Notice the fingers here, how bent back they are. I'll show you a little bit later on in school that actually involved it. But great athleticism, great costumes, and this dance of how the monkey god tried to seduce the earth god into getting into him. And part of the dance, he stomps his feet. And tradition is, every time he stomped his feet, an earthquake would occur. So the dance actually follows that particular idea. So it's really neat to see this kind of stuff, really quite fascinating. But the next day, then we did something completely different. We went to an elephant sanctuary, an elephant conservatory it's actually called. And you get to ride an elephant for about half an hour, I guess. And these are all Indian elephants. And this is, I had some trouble with this because you can't see it laying it. This guy is carrying this big spike stick, the steel spike, you know, to milk the elephant and just behave. And I started thinking about it, and I chatted to the guide and a couple other folks, and the idea was that elephants were used for logging. They would pull the logs out of tough terrain. But then they considered that cruel, so they made that illegal. So if you had all these elephants, then nothing to do. And to keep an elephant, they eat about 500 to 800 pounds of food a day. I mean, so you know, it's going to cost you a couple bucks to keep an elephant. So they become redundant. There used to be 250,000 or so elephants in Thailand. Now the number's reduced to less than 5,000. About 2,500 or to 2,000. In fact, 2,500 are actually in various sanctuaries. They're all licensed, like automobiles. It's really very, very interesting. And there's some other areas where there are about 2,000 or so in the wild. That's about it.
So who took pictures of you there?
Oh, my daughter took a picture of me, and I took a picture of my daughter.
Okay.
This is dressed up as one of the war elephants that they actually had when they had fights with others. That's pretty much what they look like. They actually had the elephant tube paintings.
Oh my God.
And notice this one's very, very good. Because it was actually a baby elephant and the guy held the trunk. The elephant held the brush, but the man held the trunk.
Which part of Thailand is this, Tom?
Pardon?
Where in Thailand? Which part?
This is in Chiang Mai.
Chiang Mai.
Chiang
Okay.
Mai, yeah, Chiang Mai. But anyway, the whole idea was, by getting rides in the elephants, you're giving them a job, and that means that they can actually support them. So, although some people say it's harmful and the elephants are hurt by the situation of training and everything, at the same time, it's either that or the no elephants. And it's really a balancing kind of act. We're quite amazing. At the end, all the elephants bow. And then actually, this picture, the elephant did completely by himself. And then they sold these for about $50 a pop.
Oh.
Again, big picture. Went into the Shitafio, which is, again, Naga, again, quite an elaborate temple, and again, all the fresh flowers around that now image of Buddha. This is actually an original wall from about 1300 when the city was all walled in, and it been reconstructed. It's really quite fascinating. And they decorated trees with cloth of various types as a way of saying that they are happy the tree is there. Yeah, pleased with the street. And then we come to Shanghai, and the White Temple. Look familiar at all? It is quite an astounding place. Lots and lots of stuff going on here. The temple itself is from the back. They have the heads of many of the popular creatures. That's columns from Lord of the Rings. They have a thing from Avatar. They have Batman. They got Superman. They got Iron Man. Full-size skulls of these things. You can see all this very elaborate work going on. Again, a Naga here. Like I look at it, and this symbolizing people in hell trying to come back to the world. So it's really quite.
Kind of crowded in there.
Well, yeah, you know, a lot of people deserve to go. Oh, no. When you get inside the temple itself, it becomes very, very strange. These are part of the image of male and female entries to one of the things you saw at the beginning. But this is inside of the temple itself. The inside is painted. And if you look at this particular graphic, in this Buddhist temple, you have Spider-Man. You got a fuel tank going back to be a dragon that's a train at destroying the World Trade Center.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's just it's just astounding kind of stuff. And here you have Neo from Nemo, whatever his name is, from yeah, what is that? Yeah, Nemo, right? Yeah. So many normal characters. There's others they have shaped, it's sort of creepy. But they all represent the idea of we make our own hell on earth. And if you behave well in this world, you go to heaven. If you behave poorly, bad things will happen to you. So, absolutely fascinating place that was just.
Do you have any idea when they start doing this?
This actually just started in the 1980s,
Okay.
and it's still under construction. This is all most of it is in white. They have one gold building I forgot to put a picture up of, but that's where the toilets are.
Now, is that cement that they use, or
Pardon?
what do they? Oh my God, please excuse me. Is that cement that they use to?
Yeah, it's some kind of I'm not exactly sure of the material. It looks like
to
cement.
make it. Oh, I'm sorry.
And Chiang Rai, we went on a ride in rickshaws. This is my rickshaw driver. He actually almost passed. I think he had a heart attack. Apparently, I was too heavy for him. But they actually had to get rid of him and get a new driver. Really quite embarrassing. But you can also see along the roadways all these enormously elaborate decorations in every community we went to. That was really quite amazing stuff. This is a jade Buddha. There's actually one in Bangkok. This is a copy of it.
Is that a real jade?
Yeah, it's real made out of jade. Yeah. And again, the flowers surrounding it. Well, a lot of times people would actually leave out items of food for the spirits. And they would be food. It could be cake, it could be rice, it could be just a meal. You put out a plate, you see this in many spots. And then at the end of the day, they throw it away. And I said, well, why are you doing that? And he said, the guy told us, because the food is there for the spirits. The spirits consume the spirit of the food, and there's really nothing left. You might as well get rid of it. It's just like when a body dies, its soul goes away and the body's just left behind. And that's what happens to the food. This was the Buddha Cave Temple, which is another quite fascinating aspect of it. Next day, we went off to visit the home of the Queen Mother. She died in the 1990s. She's the Queen of the King, who just died this year. And this sign we saw everywhere for every temple. You can't sleeve your shirts, or short pants, short skirts. And indeed, in many instances, if I show my daughter too often, she beats me up. They actually have to hand her clothing. She has to put on pants to actually go into the temple. They wouldn't let her in another one. Image of a reconstruction of one of the hill villages on Kowloon. The guard, because it was still a royal residence in half of it, so that guy stood there, maybe he didn't come into the part where it's supposed to be. And he was quite serious. This is their building itself, and she lived in Switzerland for many years. and came back and recreated a Swiss villa in the middle of Thailand, and very heavy into very special flowers. And wandering around, I got drunk apparently and saw people. It was actually in a festival that they had about 2 weeks.
And that flower up there, that's beautiful.
Oh, they're all picture plants, all carnivorous plants. So they're actually set up that way so a bug to get in there and fall into wet here and drown, and then they'll actually consume and they'll actually eat them on the boat. Went off to a really short visit to the Golden Triangle of opium fame. Now it's a huge tourist attraction. You should have. It can be quite fun.
So the elephant is a real thing there.
Oh yeah. They got
It's important up there, I guess.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. This is my wife and I, and really the Golden Triangle, Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand. Laos over there, Myanmar back there, and here's Thailand. And they sold wine with snakes. Snake
Oh.
wine.
Did you drink some of that?
No, I didn't. And that durian fruit I showed you earlier, it actually ice cream comes out of it, and really, it's really quite good. Most people actually hate it. But quite fascinating. This is where one of our people on our tour was actually bitten by a monkey. It was a monkey on a chain, and the guy got bit and actually had to go get rabies shots. Yeah. Anyway, we went to the place, the largest reclining Buddha in all of Thailand. She's well over 90 feet
Oh
long.
my
He,
goodness.
because that is Buddha.
So there's a man?
It's a guy, that's Buddha.
He's
Yeah.
all fixed up.
Because what does Buddha look like?
Who knows?
Whatever you think Buddha looks like, that's the whole idea. And he, again, you see to the old temple back here, you see how huge the feet are. Naga, again, is protecting the temple. 2 spirits with Naga between them. There's a little history that goes on beyond that. But here's another, you can see some of the enormity of the size to people on our tour. And elephants. Again,
And all
they get
this
ready
is
for
like
parade.
gold or something got on?
Mhm.
Like the finish is like gold?
It's gold, yeah, gold leaf. And that's how high the corn is. It's an elephant's eye. Really quite fast. I mean, just amazingly intricate things going on.
How long were you there? sir?
Well,
how long is it? Oh, okay.
This is the Srashika Historical Park, a temple that actually built, a complex was built in around 1200. And it's in ruins now, if you can see, but some
It's
of it's still-
underground? Is
Mhm.
it underground?
No, this is actually a picture from
From above?
here,
Oh, okay.
looking down, and that's what you see. This is the guard.
Oh, I see.
We made sure that, nothing untoward happened. And the stupa, the temple itself, contained that Buddha, and they were celebrating Buddha's enlightenment. So every image of Buddha had some type of cloth wrapped on it. And this actually is a donation or sacrifice to Buddha. All that.
A little cup of water?
It was a bottle of drink water.
Okay.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, there'll be more and more stuff there, and that monk would then come around and collect it all for went out to a complex, actually, Sukata, which was a hotel resort that they're trying to get started. It wasn't moving very much yet. This is a field of a lake of lotus blossom. All these are lotus trees, really quite remarkable stuff. We drove around a bicycle and I saw this and holy God, they created giant white rats. But they turned out to be wallabies, albino wallabies. And indeed, the people there had a park with wallabies, giraffes, black swans, all kinds of stuff. Magical. But also that particular night was a full moon, and in the full moon in day they have a special ceremony of katang, or the floating crown, where you basically take a crown, a moving, floating thing, typically a bamboo flowers on it, you put coins in it, notes in it for wishes, light it off, and then you put it into a pond to thank the spirits of the water, because everyone needs water to live, and also as a way to bring good wishes, goodwill to yourself.
So what happened to all the coins from the end?
Actually, they're then given to the monks.
Okay, so the
Use
monks
the
did a whole
coins to
lot of
buy
stuff
it.
over there.
Yeah.
Right. I think I need to be somewhere. You get to eat and everything.
The next day we went to the laptop school. It was really quite fascinating. How are you? I'm fine, or I'm sick. I mean, interesting choice of words. But this group actually, we were the first time Europeans actually visited the school. So while we were taking pictures of these kids, the teacher was taking pictures of us. What the heck going on?
Did you run into, I noticed that it's English at the bottom.
Right.
Did you run into many people speak English?
Yeah, enormous numbers, especially in the tourist areas.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And indeed, since tourism, actually Bangkok, I think, is equaling London now, the number of tourists that actually show up. So it's become a huge tourist area.
Right.
English seems to be the lingua franca, which is kind of creepy. But they gave a presentation. Notice each one is dressed with a headband. They wanted to go all the countries of South Asia, and each one came up in English, told us a little bit about that particular country, bowed, and then went off. So
Oh,
they could see.
okay, wonderful.
Kindergarten too. We gave them a check to help them with school facilities. We also brought candy, and we're handing out candy to people. And everybody's handing out, and I handed out candy to folks, and I saw this little girl standing there, and I handed her, she had a piece in her hand, so I handed her a second piece. She took it, looked around, handed it back, because she didn't want to have more candy than everybody else.
In this.
Yeah, and it's really quite remarkable. Again, it's the politeness. It's really quite fascinating. Very quite different than what we have in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Then again, the historical part, many different things. This is a bronze Buddha, the first freestanding bronze Buddha that ever created. It was made about 1300. This is King Ramkhamhaeng.
Okay.
In order for it.
Don't even try.
But he is noted as, yeah, good luck. He is noted as the king that introduced written language to Thailand around 1200. And so he is quite revered, an amazing thing. Some of these temples, this is an illustration of a Hindu-based temple, because Hinduism was the primary religion for a couple hundred years, and then moved into Buddhism. But Hinduism is still a big chunk of it. I'll talk about that in a bit. We saw some enormous Buddhas. This is a Buddha, that's his hand of this Buddha. It's just huge thing, probably 70 feet tall. And the vendors at near where this statue was, sell bags of fish and birds in cages. For lunch, you buy a bag and you let the bird free, or let the fish free, and it brings you good karma because you're freeing it out of the sweet cage.
So where do the fish go? I mean-
There's actually little lakes and lagoons all
okay.
around, so I'm up there, but it was really.
So you don't get to cook the fish?
Well, again.
It's probably carp, and you can't really eat that.
You know, if it brings you good karma, let them go.
Okay.
What does that mean about people who catch them?
And you're still hungry.
And we're riding on the bus. And again, weird stuff. This is Ganesha, the Indian god, who tried to explain how to have a good life. He was so excited about trying to give knowledge to people that he actually broke off one of his tusks to write down the instructions for folks. So he's highly revered as a god of knowledge. Again, just sitting next to the road, a little waterfall. Fish, alligators, chairs, the buses, I mean trucks, really just very elaborately painted. And this you see everywhere, people wearing masks. People wearing
What's he
masks.
got in his hand?
Oh, he's actually selling bread.
Bread.
Yeah, loaves of bread,
Oh,
right,
okay.
yeah, thin bread, right.
The
And,
bird get that, or who gets the bread?
no, that's selling to people, that's, you have that for lunch or dinner.
Oh, okay.
And notice motorcycles, it's required to wear a helmet in Thailand on a motorcycle. So this mom got her 2 kids to wear helmets on the motorcycle. I gave a picture to Dennis of 5 people on a motorcycle.
God.
Quite five, yeah, really quite remarkable. But you'll see more masks of people that did.
Why do they wear the mask?
They want their skin to be light.
Skin to be.
Yeah, they actually have,
That's why they carry their umbrellas, I guess.
yeah, well, that's to keep the sun off too.
Right.
The sun gets enormously hot, 100 degrees or more several days. But they
Do
actually
you
sell
see the
various
black people over there then? I mean, my kind of black.
African people.
Yeah.
A couple tourists,
Okay.
but many people had skin darker than yours.
Okay.
And they were actually tied, just exposure. They actually sell creams to help you whiten your face.
Oh.
And actually, I actually meant to bring it, I forgot about it, but I bought a little vial of snail aloe cream, and rubbing snail's shell on your skin is supposed to help lighten.
Okay, I might try that.
Yeah, okay. They went to Tutya, the temple, the second capital of Siam, and really quite remarkable stuff. These things, again, are some of them reconstructed, most of them in the original form. Here, made almost entirely out of brick. Really quite remarkable. Some of the street lights, and again, elaborate social works, and the Buddhas. There are several thousand Buddhist statues within this complex. And as Thailand in the 50s and 60s and a couple other times got involved in some really internal turmoil, people would go and cut the heads off and sell them in the art trade. So you find lots of places where the head's gone because you can move the head very easily, the whole body would be too much. So they just destroy it to do that kind of stuff. Then Thailand, of course, was involved in more stuff than others, and we went to actually visit the regional reply. In World War II thing, you probably heard of the movie. It looks nothing like the movie. You can see the bridge in the background here. No, these parts were actually built during World War II. Those other square things are more modern. There's still an active railroad. It goes almost all the way up into Myanmar. And so they say, watch out for trains. There's two tracks, I can't see very well, but the track that goes through here is really the original track. We also visited the cemetery of the soldiers, British, Dutch, a number of others, were captured in 1939 when the Japanese invaded. They captured 40,000 people, 10,000 died during the construction during those 6 years that they were
That was
fighting.
5 years before I was born.
Okay, yeah, okay, then they weren't captured.
5 years.
But, and many people talk about the harsh and horrible conditions, but they also brought in 200,000 Thais and people from Cambodia and from Burma at the time to work on the railroad, and of those 200,000, almost 80,000 died. So it wasn't so much they were cruel to the people, it were just horrifically harsh working conditions. And apparently the Japanese lost something like 25% of their troops to the same kind of stuff. So we can look at this as horribly things doing to horrible things to the European, but everybody suffered the same. And it's really quite remarkable when you really start thinking about that kind of stuff. And then some other sights and sounds. Again, our hotel had its own spirit house right outside. We ran into the Beatles.
Oh, I'm there for real? Or is that a
That's actually,
statue?
they're the Thai Beatles. So,
Oh.
yeah, they're the Thai
Okay.
singing Beatles song.
Okay.
Again, another lady is selling here sacrifices, we would give the temple flowers, but you see the masks. And here, we have all kinds of strange things. Guys selling food, when these pretty women trying to advertise sex in a... This is actually right next to the shore where they actually have salt flats. They collect salt, pile it up, you can purchase salt right there, or you can actually take it for industrial purposes.
Ah.
So really quite a elaborate situation. But anyway, that was our last day in Thailand. And then we headed off to Cambodia. That was our airplane. It looked kind of, blades looked kind of wicked. Anyways, we flew in, I took a picture out the window, and you can see, get some idea of what it was like. Now, Cambodia is quite different from Thailand. Again, some of the superlatives, there's the map. And I put Thailand, Cambodia, and the US, and you can see the dependency ratio for Thailand is much higher. That's because they have a very, very young population, 25 years of age. Life expectancy, 65, a lot higher fertility rate, a lot higher birth rate, but a lower death rate.
Do
What's
you
going
have,
on
you
there?
have a copy of that? Do you have a paper? I'm a paper person. Do you happen to have?
I'll give you my notes when I'm done.
You will? Oh, I would love to have.
And indeed, people see this and they say, what the hell? That's because young people very seldom die. They have good medical, relatively good medical care, so the young people don't die off. And as you get older, you're more likely to die. So the older population, the higher the death rate. And so to have a low average rate age, they tend to have a lower death rate. But also the per capita income, GDP is $3,500, and they spend relatively small amounts. All right, now Thailand has this big hair group here. They decided not to have kids. United States, a big column kind of thing. But Thailand, it really does look like a pyramid.
Isn't that beautiful?
But you can actually see, though, a huge gap from this age to this age. And that corresponds to around 1980. And you all know what happened in the mid-70s to late 80s to 1980? A guy named Pol Pot
Yeah.
came in and killed off 20% of the population. So, anyway, a quick history of what went on. And this was Cambodia at its height, at around the 900 AD. You see it took almost all of Thailand, almost into China, lots of different spots, and eventually lots of things got pushed back and forth, back and forth. The Thais invaded several times, and then the Cambodia became protected by the French, and the French take over, and then Vietnam.
1968 is the year I graduated high school.
Yeah, I go, good.
Okay.
And that the Civil War starts, and that's where the Vietnam War was going on. It comes in, and then Pol Pot comes in, 78, Vietnam invades, and then they stay in until 89, but they actually stopped Pol Pot's regime because it was really quite nasty. I even have a film called The Killing Fields that talks about how horrible it was. Our
It's a
guy,
movie like that, right?
Mhm.
I've heard that before.
yeah.
Killing Fields?
The Killing Fields, yeah, it was all about this. Our guy actually had his father and his brother killed by the Khmer Rouge. So, yeah, it's equal. Anyway, I don't know, how you catch it? 1833, the Thais retreat. That's an important. Anyway, it goes on elections, all this kind of stuff, and they're trying to advance forward. We went to Siem Reap, and that town actually means Siam, Thailand retreats. This is where the Cambodians kicked the Thais out of the country, and so they named the town after that. We went to a Spare dance, and these folks were a lot more accurate than the folks in the first place we went to. And you can see the various poses that they get involved in. Each hand motion, and you can see this woman's fingers turn back, toes turn up. Each of the 4,000 motions has a significant meaning in the story that they're telling with the dance. Here's the monkey god again, trying to cause earthquakes. You can see get ready to stand there, the butterfly person, and a large number of traditional dances. I'll talk more about that in a couple minutes because we're going to visit a school where they teach actually this dance, how people can do this dance. And the next morning we went to Angkor. Absolutely astounding, remarkable facility. We came in from the east when the sun was rising, so the sun actually really lightened up the building. Those folks coming from the other side, which really isn't quite as attractive, but really an amazing temple. The center of the complex, we estimate, had 500,000 people involved in it at its height. Very elaborate carvings, Naga again, of course. The Aspera women actually were dancing during the Thai period, and there are many images of them. They were a little different in that they didn't wear anything from the waist up. They wore a necklace and waist, and
But they weren't embarrassed, I think.
No, right, it's just normal. You can see one of the stupas, this is the gatehouse coming in, and right nearby was a monastery for kids. So you have 7, 8, 9-year-old children actually being treated as monks. And they're following the same regime as monks. They are given food by others. They don't own anything. Some of them are orphans. Some of them voluntarily actually come in. The family say, go there and be a monk. And monastery takes care of them. They're quite different way of doing things. Again, you can see how intricately detailed this stuff is. This is a close-up of this. And this is a close-up of the thing right above it. And indeed, they have a male side and a female side, this great gate. And again, these things are right about 700 to 800 years old. And they're weathered to some extent, but they're also in excellent shape. This is actually a window, and these things are actually made out of stone. Rolled stone, where they carve them into exactly the same shape. And it's where you let light in, we have the stone things, and you can keep people and other stuff out. There's no way I could actually do this well with the bas reliefs. They were quite fascinating. They have these huge walls of bas reliefs. So hell is underneath, this life is here, and heaven is above. 32 hells, 37 heavens, 32 hells. And you can see the picture of hell, people beating on you. I mean, there are people beating on you. But then, indeed, all kind of nasty things happen to you in hell.
While the fire is on you.
Pardon?
While the fire
There could be
is
fire.
on.
I don't know if they have the fire or not. But, it's there. And then you also have heaven, where people are dancing angels. All kinds of huge. This goes on for hundreds of feet. Sometimes very detailed animal things, more heaven. There's a great legend about the gods and demons pulling Naga in both positions to try to figure out where human beings can fit into the world. And that struggle continues today, struggle between gods and demons and pulling people one way and another. And that is partly represented. But again, 800 years old in this particular picture. Some really quite fascinating things going on. Again, the affair of women. This is the center complex that actually have to go up steps to get into it. It's the most revered place. And again, you have to have modest dress to go there. Because basically there's guards at the bottom saying if you have shorts or too short, you can't come on. If your shoulders are bare, you can't come up there. Right? It's really, they are very, very respectful of that stuff. And there's a little scene from outside. In the temple itself, you find again Despera. The Buddhas, again, sometimes being routed out, being destroyed, the heads taken off. Really remarkable kinds of stuff.
What do you say they did with the heads?
They send them to the antique trade.
And they make money out of it?
They make money off of them, absolutely. Yeah, they're very valuable things. 800-year-old.
So I guess somebody's guarding the place where they still got heads?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is one they didn't take it off because it's built in, and again, Naga is protecting it, and they couldn't take it off. These are two pictures outside of, from the top of lake where the entrance to the place is, the main entrance, and some of the barrack areas. At the very top of the temple is a statue of Buddha. And actually the worshiper down in front of him. In this particular Buddha is that's a different one. 3 years ago, a woman from the United States went on this tour, hid, and waited till everybody left, and got a hammer and tried to wreck Buddha.
Oh,
Because she said God called her to destroy this false god.
so what did they do with her?
No, they arrested her. But it's, everybody, if you're my religion, good, everybody else is atheist,
Oh my goodness.
And again, elaborate stuff, you can see again the worshiping here, and even this great festival of the Buddhas, they have almost every one of them covered in some kind of cloth to demonstrate their reverence towards them. Went out to the main entrance. They had workers in the field clearing out. This is a big lotus pond, they're clearing it out. And this woman was working full time. but it's, you know, take your
With
child
the
and,
baby with her.
take your child and machete to work day.
I've been trying to tell my daughter that's what she got to do. Take the baby with her.
This is Angkor Wat from the other side, from the west, with lots of monks all over the place. And this is the main entrance, and those little pops in there, where the Khmer Rouge was shooting some of the guards at Angkor Wat during the Khmer Rouge regime, while they were still out in the jungle doing something. Again, this is a reconstruction of a Naga at the main entrance to the complex. And this is a market that's out front for people to get drinks, fruits. You can actually buy sugarcane and chew it. It's sweet. Yes, lots of fruits and vegetables, not a lot of processed foods, anything like that. Tapron, the Tomb Raider Temple, was one of the fun places we went. But not so fun. This is actually a mine-damaged band. Everybody in the band had lost a limb, arm, leg, stepping on landmines, which are still found in Cambodia.
So they make music.
Yeah, and they're just trying to make some money off of this
What
land.
is these trees? They are
Oh yeah,
interesting.
these are called a sprung tree. They're very interesting, and they decided to leave this particular temple complex the way they actually found it, with the trees intertwined
The
in it.
building and everything.
Yeah, and you can see there's really quite elaborate stuff getting involved. But again, elaborate carvings. And right in the center was a donation box for Buddha that they had. It's called the Tomb Raider Temple. That's my daughter in one of those places. And this is a tree that grew up around this particular.
Now, is that your daughter with the shorts on?
Yeah.
How's she getting there with the
Because
shorts?
this is not an active temple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she actually bought elephant pants and put on. Anyway, more Naga. And you can see how the tree is really just taken over stuff. It's really quite
Oh, my
fascinating
goodness.
how that works. Yeah. And then went to Angkor Thom. Don't look at the monkeys. At the entrance to it, we have all the demons on one side and the gods on the other side pulling Naga. That figure. And the place is full of faces. Face there, face there, face there, every place. Faces facing in all directions. When it's built, they think the faces were actually made of the deity who had it built, but now they assume to be the faces of Buddha, because you never know what it looks like. And there were monkeys there. Monkeys
Monkeys,
around.
thank you.
And really, the sad thing is, you know, what do they do with that poor baby monkey watching? Elaborate details of everyday life. Again, you get a little bit better picture of these. But they have warfare, they have the animals eating critters, but you got people in daily activities, swans. It's just, again, these are 900 years old. They actually been covered by stuff and then uncovered relatively recently to show all these things. Really quite gorgeous stuff. We continue on, you can see some of the more of the heads they took that into. But every place had all these different faces, literally hundreds of them. And the guy made me do that.
Oh.
Yeah. But I
They gonna
just-
put your face in one of them.
There you go, they're my favorite. I went off to another temple. There's a Hindu temple, because within the Hindu faith, there are three gods, Shiva, Vishnu, and Rama. They're the three major deities. So when you see three stupas together, it's really a Hindu temple, because the Hindus were fighting each other, which god is supreme. And then somebody said, hey, cool it off, dude, let's build every temple to all three. So you find that kind of stuff going on.
Now, these temples here, they look like they all been destroyed somehow.
Well, yeah,
compared to the other
these are
ones.
hundreds of years old,
Okay.
and really they were developed in the center of a jungle where it rips through them. You can see many different archways, huge kinds of things going on. Eventually, I got up close and personal with a monkey.
You got a monkey on the back.
Twice. He got on my back first of all, went through my head and knits
He's checking you for.
she actually.
Oh.
Checking you for
Yeah,
blood stop.
I gave her a mint, she went off and ate the mint, but then I went around the other side of the building, she jumped back on my head. And one more mint, they were in the bag and I couldn't get to them. My wife came up to take a picture and the monkey said, "Get back!" He's mine.
This is my bad.
Yeah, it was kind
Oh,
of
that
creepy.
is so
It was like, I was worried because the other guy got bit by the monkey.
Oh,
I had to go get rabies shots.
Yeah, you
Oh,
want
my
that.
goodness.
So yeah, I was.
So you had to cooperate.
No, I was, whatever you want, lady, it's up to you.
Oh, my
We get
God.
in more, and the number, this is called the elephant terrace with all these elephant pictures on it. And this is actually a picture, but you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on a motorcycle.
They're like the Mexicans, you know. I'm not talking about any particular people.
All right, totally Sap is actually a lake in the center of Cambodia. It drains out during the summer, but during the monsoons, the Mekong River actually backs up and fills it back up. So it's a lake that expands and contracts, expands and contracts. We got to take an ox cart ride, and then we got on these little banana boats and travel down this mud. It was like consistency of melted chocolate. And this boat was stuck, so everybody was going around to go out to this village. It actually is a floating village. They had anchored at this point because the lake was low. As the water would come up, they'd actually float back out. And you see some of the boats, people sit in the front and have this gunnel carved down so they can row without hitting their hands on the gunnel. Really quite remarkable. They have the back of the boat weighted so they can actually sit in the front. Some of the different buildings they have were quite remarkable. This is actually something brought in by the government. They built up a school. And all these are school kids who basically get to work, get to school, either by rowing or motorboats or all these kind of things. This little village, these are fish traps. Sort of things you can see all the bamboos used for. This is a gas station.
Wait, they put gas
All
in?
those bottles are filled with gasoline, about a liter each. And you go up, you buy the gasoline, you pour it in.
I mean, are they on boats when you need gas for?
For the engines on the boats.
Oh,
The
okay.
engines, boat engines. But gasoline in bottles is, I'm not sure if they're returnable or not. Quite fascinating. And some of the other places, stuff that you can see, it's really rather poor folks all over the place shipping. I get a picture of, they actually have pigs that they put in crates and they feed the pig and the pig poops in the water and feeds the fish. And then they eat the fish because they catch them because the fish keep coming where the pigs poop.
So do they eat the pig?
Oh, it's good. Yeah, sure. So anyway, they're quite fascinating, as you might imagine, these things are really something.
Tom, do these little homes have wells for water?
Do
Do
what?
these homes like this have wells, or where would they get their
Where the
water
water come from?
out there?
Out of that mud. Oh, my God. So do they boil it?
Some do, most of them simply let it settle.
Oh.
And so
It's
set it
whatever's
comes
at the
out.
bottom.
Yeah, and they don't have.
And we worry about germs over here.
Also went to, in Sierra Leone, they have a School of the Arts. When the Khmer Rouge were in charge, they wanted to get rid of all these tappings of class, all these tappings of culture.
Look at her.
So they
face.
killed about all but 5 of the traditional dancers. Literally, just got them, shot them. And those 5 have come back to start this school up. And these are young kids learning to dance. And again, see what they do with their hands. This is the hands.
How do you get it turned like
Well,
that?
it's practice. You actually see the folks sitting
They
there
must
doing
train them
this.
from babies.
And, yeah, it's
Okay.
very young ages.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
although they're performing many of the traditional dances, they were just in the school clothes. And what's unique is that they're actually bringing men in. Before this, men were actually not in all of the bigger concert. But
They're pretty.
see, this amazing dance, and each particular gesture. See, even the feet and the toes are really, look at the toes of these people. Just this astounding stuff. how they do that. But everywhere, every motion has a particular meaning. Went to Montessori. This is a temple made by women about 600 years ago. It's been abandoned for a long time. It came back. It's a rice field. And here's Naga with a wannabe Naga. But again, you can see how intricate and detailed these different carvings are. Indeed, they're even more detailed than the other buildings. And again, they think the other temples, they think it was because the women actually were the ones who
I
were
see a little elephant around that little thing,
Mhm.
see it,
Yeah.
two elephants.
Two of them,
Yeah.
They're protecting. It's just, the iconography is astounding. And then we went and got, on the way out of that temple, we stopped in and got some palm sugar. Actually, this person's making it up. The female plant has pine and palm fruit. The male plant is the sugar. And so they chop up stuff and boil it down and sell it in these little packets. Will was talking about, like, this is actually a tractor. Motorized tractor they use for the field. Again, a picture of folks. We drove through a marketplace where there's some durian fruit, it's quite sticky. These are different types of insects, all spiced, mixed with vegetables.
Oh.
And they're for sale. So if you want some, you can actually go and give you a cupful for about 50 cents.
Oh, my God.
It's,
What the meal cost, Joe?
it varied. In Thailand, it's more expensive. In Cambodia, you can get a full meal for about $3.
In Thailand?
Yeah, in Cambodia. Yeah, Thailand is probably around $10 for a good meal with a beer.
Right.
And then we left.
On the
Tired?
bottom.
Tired, down to sleep, and ended the adventure. Anybody questions?
Yeah, one of the things I noticed on all of your pictures,
Huh?
on roads and stuff,
Right?
I didn't see any trash.
No, very clean.
Place pretty clean,
Very
right?
clean, yeah, absolutely. And indeed, the cleanliness stuff is all part of the whole idea, partly of Buddhism, but partly of the cultural tradition as
Right,
well.
yeah, because like I said, very, very clean.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, very clean.
that's interesting.
So how often do you go on these trips?
I go once a year.
And you always show.
So this one,
me stuff?
the school actually helped me pay for.
Oh, okay.
So I try to bring this up, I actually use a lot of these things, a lot of examples, stuff in my classes.
I just happened to heard about it about 5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
Well, before
But
you
you
did.
flew her well.
We flew out of Dulles and did a direct flight to Bangkok.
Oh,
How many hours?
Too many. It was 18, I think, something like that.
18?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But it's amazing, I could have flew out of Lynchburg to another, to Charlotte, and we going over. But it was almost half the price at Dulles. It's just, you wouldn't believe, if you want to fly anywhere, ride to Dulles, fly up there,
And you
and
go
you
on,
save
yeah.
enormous amount of money. And indeed, there's a hotel, many of them,
Coming back, how long did it take?
it's about the same amount of time.
Same amount of
Yeah,
time?
same amount of time, right. Yeah, we flew over did the Red Circle route. I'm sorry, the flight over, we actually landed in Beijing, and then Beijing to Bangkok, and then back, I think, the same way. I don't remember.
How many of you all went?
And my wife, my daughter, and
Oh, just your
I.
family.
And in the little tour we took, there were about 12 people, I guess, altogether. And
Oh.
except in Thailand, there were just the three of us.
And it took you 17 days to do all that?
Yeah.
How were your hotels there?
They were fabulous.
Really?
Oh, yeah, God, yeah, I mean, they were just marvelous. You just couldn't, I mean, there was fresh flowers in the room for you. The towels were made into swans and ducks and birdies, kind of things. They were absolutely remarkable. Just all.
You
Were
didn't
you
bring in
careful
a
when
towel
you-
back with you?
I'm sorry?
You didn't bring in a towel?
No, I mean, as soon as you pick them up, they'll fall apart. But yeah, no, we were very careful about the water. That was really a big concern.
So you only do bottled water?
Right, bottled water. And every tour gave you 4
So
bottles
you didn't
of
have to
water.
drink that mud, right?
No, you could if you wanted. And food was almost always cooked. We tried to avoid fresh, just washed vegetables and fruits. So if you're going to eat fruit, you have to eat something peeled.
Oh.
And that way you wouldn't get any water.
In the water?
Right, right. But there was never any problem. There was plenty of food available all over the place, and mostly were cooked. And again,
Is it good? Did you like it?
actually did a cooking class where I actually did some Thai cooking, made our own soups and main courses a little bit. But the only problem with that, it was that it was an outdoor cooking school, and it was 100-some degrees. So I mean, it really wasn't very much fun.